The painting that you see on page 222 to 223 is known as the Peasant's Wedding, circa 1500, by Pieter Bruegel. Pieter Bruegel, usually known as Pieter Bruegel the Elder, was considered the greatest Flemish painter of the 16th century. He painted peasant scenes and landscapes in an original narrative style. The Peasant's Wedding is an example of this style. The English Reformation. The 16th century desire to reform Christian institutions had deep roots. In the 1300s, power struggles and corruption in the church and the anxieties of the plague encouraged people to look for new inspiration. John Wycliffe argued that the Bible, not the Pope, was the true authority in religious matters. Later, in Germany, Martin Luther attacked the church's practice of promising salvation for donations. These donations were known as indulgences. Only faith, he argued, not works, could save souls. In Henry VIII's England, such radical ideas had won favor even among the respectable. When the Pope, afraid to offend Henry VIII's wife's powerful relatives, denied Henry's request for an annulment, the stage had already been set. Henry took control of the Church of England. While the Reformation in Europe led to rebellion and prolonged wars, Protestantism took hold in England in a temperate way. Henry left much church doctrine intact. The Spanish Armada. During this period, England supported Protestant Dutch rebels against Catholic Spain, the superpower of the day. Spanish ships, returning from the New World, loaded with treasure, were attacked by English raiders such as Sir Francis Drake. Spain finally sent a fleet of 130 battleships, called the Armada, to invade England in 1588. The smaller, more maneuverable English fleet did well against the ponderous Spanish ships, attacking with cannon and with burning ships filled with gunpowder. Many surviving Spanish ships were wrecked by storms when they fled. England was on its way to ending Spanish naval supremacy. The Book of Common Prayer. The Book of Common Prayer, published in 1549, was a radical departure from the past and would influence English literature in times to come. The new Church of England needed standard texts for prayers and services. The Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas Cranmer, prepared these texts in English. The solemn Latin of Catholic Church services had been replaced by the plain, everyday speech of England. The Book of Common Prayer was revised in ensuing years to help smooth over disputes between religious factions. In the meantime, the English language had found a new power. In a simple, serious style, it now embodied people's devotions. Along with the King James Bible, which was documented in 1611, the Book of Common Prayer gave writers of future generations a new sense of the weight of their own language. The Protestant Reformation. Fueled by political discontent, the Protestant Reformation swept through much of Europe. It led to frequent wars between European nations, whose rulers had opposing religious beliefs. Protestants themselves were divided, and in Germany, the followers of Luther, called Lutherans, persecuted the followers of another Protestant reformer, John Calvin of Geneva. Calvin's ideas, called Calvinism, gained a foothold in Switzerland, England, and Scotland, and helped bring about the establishment of the Puritan and Presbyterian movements. This is just a side note about Holbein, the artist who painted the portrait of King Henry VIII on page 231. Holbein did other jobs besides painting while he was Henry VIII's court painter. He created sketches of items such as bridles and buttons that were used by the royal household. He also designed state robes for the king.